Last week, yentimi amfa dwumedi na amba mu fie ye de efidie ana ye edwuma nti yenya issue kakra eno nti na yentimi but ene no de na ka also ye discussing the last week no eno na ye ba beto aso de na ye ba behwe the art of listening, how to hear your partner. Kwanya be man oba mbetimi tie mo ho anase odofo mbetimi etie mo ho begini say 2 weeks ago ye di ho nkomo ye ka bebre. We looked at causes of poor listening habit. Yesua say listening any hearing enye pe. In fact ye kanya ma ne ye kama and the course ne amanfo a friend ne ka say there be yento aso because a jumedia abo mu pi eno ntu na yen so we saw the need say ene ye betoa so the art of listening, how to hear your partner. But ene ye be share nyoma bi de na ye ba be hye ne ene de ye ba be hye no ye de edemu sonko ye be share how does misunderstanding what your partner said lead to bigger conflict. Say odofo so when tie de odofo eka ekwan be so na de ntokwa eba efi ebionso. How can couples repair communication after a major argument? Say adofo edi nkomo ana say adofo nti won ho ase ekwan be so na yebetimi esiesie na omodo no asa atene bi ebinso ekese can your partner show you say otio apart from nodding ekwan be so na say to de bia ye ni ebi mu kasabo no boniti but beyond nodding no ekwan be so na odofo ebetimi etio ene nsem bebre na last week 2 weeks ye ba besi no ye de technology question bi ebem ekwan technology eboa ye ema yetimi ene entimi ma yenye and cultivate good listening habit and no need ye beto aso efri ho enti ene de ye won sembe brave frɛ wadofo frɛ obusua frɛ unuanom ma ye metena se. This is the Love Garden show. At this show near ye person ye catch me and say today words are planted like seeds, and it is how you water that seed and the bemane enyini. You water that seed through patience, understanding, any intentionality. And you know, o can sembia, o dofono, wo dia a baby ne egu na brabom. And the kwanya obe pese, sa bani benyini no. Any jume dia, or say your friend oti, I didn't sue a guguso. And the enen you ready, so no, ebeye kama. Your sofo, and so we intima on ye bedin komo dwumadie yi enye menko a ana me wa aboafo bebre a eboa me dwumadie yi eye gbedema herbal product adaroma enti ne de dwumadie yi eba ofiefi gbedema herbal product kasafa gbedema upe gbedema product a edwaso de bebre afi maboa omo ameni omo di dwumadie yi me camera Elizabeth and Richard afi me director Abigail and so account sound Cristiano afi MCL set and so Anna King George and so a producer, the king of all judges on in a producer show we and you try your home smart abaka crazy ye ba the art of listening, how to hear your partner part 2 and not near the remember. Stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Fraba just woni o yanom e hyen a en use fuel we so yensesa oil ne wo hia eni ni key e hyen egumechi nyina eye lip moto Giomi anase nami eyemu bia wo sabeka wo KFM Limited e wo Ghana ha lip moto abɛɛfo cars abi yanom emwedene sanso efe wa hwe interiors here car here me timu sisi ya ne ye friend no leap motor e was 3 modes of driving obetimi a switch so open temo a obe na sports mode so person will save you battery obetimi use economy mode na so won pentem na wo pe normal riding so a your friend no standard wo charge your battery within 6 hours e betumi di wakokumasi aba me kire 310 kilometers enti woni how ubetumi so the 3 hours fast charger a charge na mana you full bonema na wakokumasi aba say no me en try the aka no Giomi ni awunya ne key make sure say key ne ben wa wo hwese na interior on tie na black and white papa so no FSN yo wa hwe screen tentin e bo ma hu car no battery aka na ma hu mileage nso e wo so we so de etu kwan 320 kilometers and sana was a charge ubetimi a charge in 6 hours fast charger ye 3 hours abefu efidie ye nso ubetimi a drive no in 3 modes a standard sports and na say economy so wo pentem to say me a yanom choose sports what say ubetimi to qualify hakoko base ama wo battery ni bi so aka because a 320 kilometers wo charge in 6 hours ubetimi nya full battery na wonya fast charger so 3 hours per your set making sure so okay ni kan ho onye sa wakem ubi e do na start Chili Giobi black and white makoma swat man san kawo de yen check de aka no nye no abefo de ni mu ba ko ni o de awunya no wuki making sure so key ni ben onye sa wakem wheel no efe leather na ewo mu no so dance eye gray ni yo ma hodo mienu de ani hakakra ene de emu odu esanso wo screens mienu wey e ma wo information a hunya wo car ne hunyina ase besia bonyum papa your friend entertainment de a wohia no ane e bes wo betumi so drive in 3 modes just like the others standard and I say sports so wo pentema car we so e betumi etu kwan akokumase aba 330 kilometers Bichema udu kra betumi ejesi so no wabonyum kakra ansa na edu wo charge na 6 hours no so betumi so charge no 3 hours if no fast charge eyinu mu nyina KFM limited ene de ya be twaso freyen ne me sanka wo de ententem so open installment a high purchase and twentwen wo na ase we've got you solid Yanume, on sabetumi aka fidie mu bia e wo KFM limited. On sabeke fidie no na wotua no nkakra we unya no bebia agi KFM limited. Fraying ever sort out.
Welcome back. You try your home smart kakrebi ana ye ba beto aso. Afen ye di jimano jumedie ni be share so. Jumedie se na mede kan bedema hegba product adaroma. Bedema garlic mixture. Bedema cocoa capsules. Bebia upebia ubenyebi. Jumedie ni koso no mede number ne betuja ama wo hu. So upese wutu a say na bedin kan ene ye ba beto aso how to hear your partner, the art of listening. Part 2, the art of listening. The nipa me ne no ebedi dwumadie ye betoto na no na wache ya adwene na wame yesua de enanwumre Reverend Francis McCarthy osofo memo akwaba.
Nice having me.
Oh, ebusianfo nyina ho ye de
Obia ho ye
the radius. Reverend Francis McCarthy has been a blessing to us. In fact, I heard people of a month for doing home a dance 2 weeks ago when we left the show. The calls that came, in fact, they were really blessed. And no na necessity my we are not part 2,
Okay.
But we just want to pick it from where we left off last 2 weeks. You said a lot, but we want to look at, do you think, say, technology and multitasking have made us restlessness? Udrin said technology ne infidie aba any multitasking say obi a oye dwumadi bebre. These two things, technology and multitasking, has it made us restlessness?
Yo, me da se mitia etiefu nia so ane hwefo. Technology ampa enyan sunsun so bebre ewo yen so. Ne se nti ne se sa wohwe technology advancement na de ba nanka wohwe anka ye se de improvement na de ba ya brabum si enya improvement na ye beka se ama communication ye easy, but ye hwe technology no ankasa no ye hu se enma I rather worsen up issues because of that. You know, I shifted from the emotional attachment ye de ba in your communication. Any gestures no ananka mema we hu no sisia no we are hiding. I say technology now I say if you dey bi aye suma we chi me e de pese nti be pese me ka bibi kire na me ka a kire wo ewo abrama asem ananka bi am gina we nimu a me ntimi nka no technology aye ni easy amayen nti me ka me mfa ho ne de be na enu sunti no ama o na sa obi sam we ma send you message ade wan hwe message no. But ye worry na your relationship man ye message eno na say kasa ene ne say iti wo send me message but dia waka no say adia wa chro no brofo ne chro ana kasa mu chro ene ne ka no enye di same nti wo behu say obi on mo a o say ma send you message na sa me frɛ wo sa me kan ni see, but technology no a what the fast no the kasai no nipa no wate then so as well that say otie wo because wo ka no wo san so hwe o ye bibi foforo
and no wate whether so otie
and no technology no so ama ye hide your feelings and no importance say attach to message no emma because me no kasa wo phone so na me catch you say o mi bu efu enti wakate makate line no kra no. Yes, wakate line wo me so. But me hu expression no. Their minimal say wakate line. We jai kasa okay me so me nkasa no hu biom. And so won bu me. Enti me respond biom. And once a we yi wa adwen fi so say won respond biom no na won ye we no. Communication has been bridged. And the technology that is supposed to say be boyen na nka be ma yetimi akasa na di ho komo na nka easy no rather as western things because am I hard up into me send you emojis is not the rare expression of me because emojis be or cramp be on more emoji am send no it gives a wrong signal rather say nka be ma me better signal say ebia me ne wo kasa na wugina wenim na mema we hu sometimes na nye miti ame no de sometimes no say me body language ema hu but technology doesn't show our body language. Technology makes us even harbor things enti mpese me ka ade na me ka no ma harbor na maka matro metra but the impact me pese nka unya no technology will not give me that impact. Inti ama imprint you know say your communication skills because 2 minutes I'm sending I've called you, I sent you a message, look at it, I sent you this, look at it, I've sent you that, have you gone to Facebook, have you seen this, have you seen that? Inti yen commodie and yen bonding. And remember, communication in marriage in any relationship is supposed to bond us. And it's our bonding number we have failed.
Interesting scenario. I will come to the multitasking. Obani okunu adofo today. We could turn the phone. You didn't come but no bia forget it and the phone agro. So scenario now. Yeah, imagine that scenario. No, you didn't come up. We listen to each other.
Entina Maker say we are married to gadgets, and then our attachment is to gadgets. And you know, you are better screen lovers than intimate lovers. And tebi wa me no workasa no name what tax na work no me no workasa so me phone so me ye bi ti ade na me ne wo ka no o me tie and why are you not looking at me? But the point is, all I say, now I say assume you did. But if you didn't have the phone, eye contact, nyame ye and say, Sami show we ni mua, na wo she me ni mua. Ye din komono. Me hu I can because I'm communicating to your soul. I'm not just communicating to your body. It is your eye that gives me access to your spirit man. So if it will sink in, it is our eye contact. It's not Brunini who didn't come on. Or maybe it's the same question 3 times. No, show eyeball. Because your eyeball gives the feedback. When he asks a question, we say a question, now we know a danoco left and a right. It shows psychology tells us that when somebody's coming to lie, the eyes bounce back. But many okasa we sweet us and I will show phone, ukra phone, I will share, and oh yeah, until so then I'm not getting that eye contact. I'm not getting that vibe. I'm not getting that respect. I need to have a bonding. I'm not getting it. Until the American Indian, where attention is divided. So I become a second fiddle in the conversation.
So I think that you've touched a bit on the multitasking. So how, in what ways will you advise partners regarding say, sir, ye de enfidie, ye hide behind enfidie, or ye incomodie?
Nti no enkomodie de ehia ebe hia ye di nkoma nti na ebe hia say put everything aside. In a school cry school I say put everything aside and listen to the teacher, because ye tie enkomo na ye di any obi for ye di ho nkomo nti say a body expression any de ebeka bia no eye very focused on each other. Who say your body language is part of communication skills. And say what an even sitting posture tells me the our person or catching me. Sure. The way you sit, where you look, anyway in your antino. Samini within common a different for a beam at so phone, a beam na ye de gadgets in your beam pay. We have divided attention. We are no longer listening to it. We are paying attention to the gadgets. Also sometimes, and Kofor I so used to gadgets to say. So the phone the silence crown ring here. But what's in China friend are on it. And usually no I ain't happy with a man. Or you so used to. Yeah, yes, so you see we are spirit being. You get connected to what you give attention to. Until we're using the phone, sometimes I'm catch you be say iPhone is like a spirit that has gotten hold of a lot of people. iPhone no gadget. You see, the devil always give us counterfeits, and gadget has become a counterfeit of what God gives to us. Love and bonding is supposed to be for a person, not for gadget. But you see, and you are bound into an era. People are bonding with gadgets more than say oni nipa ebetna. Into who so oni nipa te ono wote, but we pay more attention to the gadgets. Since say we pay attention to wo no onu din komono, and that is a big problem. And for us to reverse that, we must always, anytime you be doing komobiano, put the gadget aside. Listen to, especially your partner. You want to give. It's also a sign of respect. You want to show respect. Say, look, what we are going to talk about is so important. Say, I don't want anything to come between us. So please, let's put the phones aside. Can we talk? And then talking starts with looking. It begins with look. Listen starts with looking. I'm looking at you. You are looking at me. I'm paying attention, because eye contact is the spirit of listening. When the eye is not engaged, the ear cannot hear.
When the eye is not engaged, the ear cannot hear. When the eye is not engaged,
then
I think we are getting a lot of stars wrong, in the sense even obinin the sofokura edin komokra no ku telephone sofu jina nenim yefa so all kasa or ye na ebi or test it. I heard a man of God who says make us na o TikTok it entino emwa ma tie no enwie pay. We hear what they say, but we don't listen what has been said.
Entina many corporate bodies, I mean, obi call the boss on morning, the boss din koma, he dare not take the phone.
Sure.
But I think some corporate agencies, no call officer, all phones are put in board meetings, whatever, phones are put aside because per se, we want to hear ourselves. We want to be able to discern and say we have heard and we are all at the same page and we are assimilating the information. No, information no bibia nothing is distracting. We are gaining eye contact because we listen through the eye and the ear assimilate it to the heart. Then we can say we are the same page. It is engage, we cannot.
We listen through the eye and the ear assimilated to the heart. This reminds me, na baby na me ejuma baby. I think say na director naba. Na kan ba na me ye call. Unfortunately no obe pie me so. Me re mfitin o tin me o say ade na me ye call. We to me be me defend him who say it's urgent. Or say what is urgent and more important than working? She told me point blank. I wanna or starting, so we were a group of guys. I see Debbie. You can't go to work. Say the phone. You do phone. I see there are certain companies you the phone that two baby before. So in other words, the mate say the reason why even those companies cry. The phone to say, as colleagues cry,
yes.
Because if I don't get or listen to you or your output, which is my input, I may the better at the forefront.
Yes.
So imagine we are at a production or sector. Obi output, every year obi input. And they be me the phone, they grow me the phone. Once a year, I was saying this is right. A sense of mentio ye now made him once on the back share. I see.
Yes. Yes. A very, very important. Listen, with the tech world, is rather destroying a lot of homes. And Ukraine is saying Kwalabibri say because of tech. And only hearing ability. And who say or pay more attention to gadgets, no, the diagrono, and a banesa, the human relationship is curtailed. And on psychologists are coming out to see say a lot of young people, if they don't take them away from the screens now, the braininya yares as mental disorders and any idea no, it's as a result of the screen because bibia a gadget no, and to know who nipa because Ofi say nipa na onini is not as intelligent as the gadget.
Now let me chip in this question. In collab from 1 to 2, 3 or 4 years, would you advise? So at that stage, almost na toy near momo seno. So kukomelo ne that's would you advise at that stage?
No, entina make us say enye nkwala no mpenifonia because now it is becoming
glaring.
Nkwala no enye nkwala de you see their formative stage is development. Developmental stage, whatever you begin with them, and then they form the basis for their lives, and then no, destroy all my life. And sir, one ma akwalano, and building human relationship from the onset. Now the gadget shena say, owning the whole life will be independent of human beings. He will become what's the word? Let me use it might not be the right way, but the mefan say I am not watching who if isolated. And so the bani pemua na ne ho yira no. Nti embre pin no behu no wenyin waware obeni abeware, but you spend more time with, so for instance, send a laptop and on the phone crossing nipa no waware. Nti nipa no waware no ewu hia no for social status purpose. But in the reality no, the actual life is around gadget, which is more or less like living with a robot. Inti na nkwala na ye we no e affect your mental health. Inti enye say dey esuhunu na edi ebedu Africans we bibia ye better say abafufo meti me da se ane afa your kra na yeko. But the point is that we were taught to be family person. We were social beings. We bonded. We connected with each other, and that is our culture. By implementing, you push your culture, and who be before fra. We just grab on it, and many at times, and what I see is that many parents who do that is shying away from parenting and taking responsibility for the raising of their children, because all nim say ya chede anyame de ama wa ehun be hia okane. Ejuma does not build family. Family is built based on intentions. Say that ejuma nsho eye wo fie ene be kai wo. Ejuma nkai wo. Ejuma na wo ye ende no a wo fie say nti wunya brema wo ba no. Uwu ende ye be ma replace. Yes, you be ma replacement. It's like pastoring. I always tell my pastor friends, when you die you get a replacement. You will not be buried before we look for a replacement. Until there will be a family first. That's why Bible himself say that build your family first. Pay attention to that one. If you are not worthy of that, you cannot take care of the flock of God.
Build your family first. Mijini say wo fie utie. Eboapa. In fact, your phones in your gadgets, especially partners. Hard drene ewo ye fie. Mira, I was say bema ni oba kamo free jume ma muti ambedi nkomo. Now we could turn the phone. But you want to listen to each other. Even body actions cry kasa. Obi wo ha ne gestures ne ye tese ne nipedua say kasa. Na bema ni oba o matena che no. Ohun se ne yere sign bia ote ase.
Ohun se emprepi no ade ba kon e dangerous Francis they are dangerous pan say I pay attention. Encrofo timi tene fie. Obi or ne partner te fie. Dem atene fie for 82 hours. They've never spoken because everybody is busy on the phone. Obe can be because sending message no respond.
And this is dangerous.
And that is the danger where we are getting to. Intina, a lot of spouses, marriages are collapsing because of some of these things. Because anyone be brave or honor ye will fear. Yet meet if you weekend a yeni I will fear no. And no cranny a woofy no be our interest. And the interest if the man's own is football or TV, and therefore nothing distracts. I say the TV become the idol is worshiping, where your wife should be the one or your husband should be the one will be sharing. Because the whole week in the more you're out, and this is the opportunity for you to come and then share and then pay attention to each other. But you have given yourself away to a gadget like television or something, and you are doing. And there are a lot of spouses who are living together, but they talk less. They do much talking on WhatsApp, and they tell you, say, oh, it's the age. Normal. Me, when I send my husband a message, he gets it, and yes, you send the message, but you never bond spiritually. And marriage is bonding.
Marriage is bonding. So, from what has been said, now let us look at this. How does misunderstanding what your partner said leads to a bigger conflict? A convention as one TD or Dofuka, it leads to bigger conflict.
The misunderstanding leads to a lot of conflict, a bigger conflict, because today I want to focus. Let's look at the three parameters. The first one, if misunderstanding will happen by not us hearing, it is when we carry the blame game, when the blame game begins to play. And how does blame game start? The blame game no starts edikai and say, I have this principle, say anything but anger. Abba, anything but anger. Whenever we are having a discourse, make sure say whatever your response will be, it should be anything that brings about respect, honor, but not anger, so that it will not bring a blame game. Because if I didn't hear you, that's when you begin to, about what you said, I didn't understand. I didn't, and the question will come, were you listening to me? Now, would hear me. As my mechanic would hear me. And once anger sets in, because if you feel you are not being heard or you have been misunderstood, anger is the response. But in a relationship, anything but anger. Keep your anger away. Keep your anger away. When you are able to tame your anger, like scripture says, a man who is able to tame his anger is like a warrior who has won a whole city. When you are able to tame your anger, okay, at the end of my car, mantiasie. And I says, man, I can't win tame. anything but anger, keep your cool. Let the person rant and do everything, but keep your cool. Say, oh, please, can you repeat it? And a man say bit to me, because sa anger bimwa. That is when the conflict begins. By force, because anger makes you give the negative energy. You give negative energy, negative vibe. You try to defend yourself, even though adena wakano one when tie the okan no when pay attention to it. Into conflict no best start to say, but I adding why person share me so, and I say, and let me be honest and realistic here. In our contemporary world where women are working and men are working, and some women even earn more, it makes listening a challenge. Because if the woman is earning more, no, first utia bina wo bema no, nyamisuro eni oba ni mu a, the abeke bia no, he pretends to hear. She pretends to hear. She pretends to hear, but she is not listening to you. Because at the end of the day, we have come to a society where money is the king. And we have reversed it in our marriage, say, the one who calls the beats, the one who plays the piper calls the beats. So if I'm the one contributing more, then I'm going to call the shots. And once that begins, listening is not working, conflict is going to arise. And when that arises, all the time, it comes back to you watch. It comes back to what you are not doing and I'm doing. So it becomes the power of the minds. What I've put on the table, are you able to do that? And so we have a lot of women who, by virtue of economic power, has assumed the man responsibility. And because of that, humility is thrown out of the window. So listening is no longer the way to go for them to be able to engage in meaningful conversation. And so there is always conflict.
I see. Anything but anger.
Anything but anger. So if you are the man and the woman is, and I always tell men, look, when you have a woman that doesn't, it starts from where I always say, if the woman doesn't understand the things of God and does not understand the place of marriage and that the economic power is there, as a man, don't put your manhood or so don't show your man ability by shouting and screaming. Rather quell to listen and use the wisdom to direct the home. Direct the home. You minimize the conflict. Immediately you begin to think you are the man, you worsen the situation.
Even
Sausika was so crying as a man. See, when Solomon said, dwell with them with wisdom. Women always want to explore. And to know, for you to avoid conflict, anything by anger, they will say things, they may react, they may respond in a very emotional way that may get to you. You can tell, oh, you're always sitting by watching TV. What is this? You're always watching TV and it wasn't too political, so you think that is what makes you a man. What is anything but anger. Sometimes we forget that the marriage that we are in, the relationship, is a spiritual concept. It's a heavenly concept that has been given to us to model in our limited world, in our limited capacity as humans. And so God himself gave us the clue to work with it, but we ignore them. And oftentimes we want to use our human, I'm the man. You are a man does not mean that you act with anger, because Christ does not deal with us that way. With all the things that we do, we don't listen to his word, we don't obey his commandment, but anything by anger. God does not, his first response is not anger, his first response is love. So anything that will bring conflict, respond with love. How do you respond with love? Sometimes you start talking, you go and embrace, you go and then, or you keep quiet. Not walking away. Don't walk away. Men who do that, it shows weakness. Don't walk away when the woman says something and so the best way to do is walk away. Don't walk away. Sit.
So yen stay ha kakra. Wone oyere enya ebia wakasema na ompe. In fact, okasa bebre. Be man so onim ne ho. Say ebia fine, ebia si pen. Ebisi obo no. In this instance, on per se obeye ne seed bio onim na koma. Nti oba na kasa no kasa. And fan say, one man is space. Oh, because in the anger, no, or bufu, no, there is nothing. We come over team. Into a man is space, kakra. So if the man walks away, what shows that he's weak?
No, you see, when you walk away, o me konenam, fie be pie fie me konenam. Mind you, a bufu now DP. And anytime you are under that influence of anger, no. Sometimes your reflexes and your thinking are not in a base of shape. Upi abontia say answer the bufu and a winner. Oh, kishu be no akasa. Now if you fall in. Now call. But sometimes is the what God gives us. Say when they say a soft answer,
turns away wrath.
A soft answer doesn't mean that respond. Or kasawa you will come. Just listen. You don't say anything. Asante for baby am say ehura ebedwe
ehuru cry nsuo cry ehura
ehura ebedwe ti oka eberantia ndu 1 hour 30 minutes kwendu
ene nipa nyina so na betimi asu
anti bibi sa no either say sa bedroom na wa bakot no wa betna ho. Don't leave you see when you leave the house
okay,
you give room for the devil to take. No obeka. Obeba no ato dan ni mu a. It's going to provoke you the more. Until I make us say don't leave. Be in a situation or can on who say and let them maka abranti wan kasa me ho. Ono abedane ne ho. Eba na also mo say emba oba ye na bema wo se wan kasa hwe nipa no kotena odin efi de wan ka hwe no obetwemu a na adane atwetwe but they still don't talk. Hey, kasa, like we said the other time, is a spirit. Where's a spirit? O train na nipa na kuli down why we are no pa say endra meaning say always that's what I say anything by anger. Always the second point that I'll bring into this is that the second level you do is the raise the bar. Raise the bar. And tinipana can't wait no when you raise the bar. First, don't go point to the person. Say, you know, you were wrong. Yesterday when you talk, you see, I didn't say anything, man. Kasa, internet say, bia, nama. Endra meaning so bufu ye. Adebia me kan ya na dia me ye ya wan tiase na ma before by no. Me sorry.
But when ye ade ache so no.
I because
in that heated moment in there.
Anything by anger, what train nipa na da ebi ahomache baby say no we raise bar no. Oh ade no me sorry. Enye say na me reaction na enye say na me meaning say obufu ye. But say my bema na me we no dey. I take the responsibility. Man can ye. One, as soon as you raise the bar and you take responsibility as the man, every defense, every war crashes. You have opened the spirit of that person to now hear you. And once he's hearing, obedience is the key. So, what I was suggesting is say, yen ni say biom. Mempese bibi beba na me pie na meko eyewo. And the way you open that gate, Emma, dia obeke nia bewie no. O je se nipa kro no. Na akoma no. Enye Kristo ni akoma, but to be an the first one also can say me so me sorry. Now, once you do that, you see, in every, the raising the bar is to win the other person to your side because the two are one. Remember, say a marriage relationship where the two have become one. It's a better part of you. It's a part of you that is becoming cancerous. So what is when you're cancer? How do you take care of your diet? Yes, I mean DBB. How do you take care of your diet? So take your partner to be, say, the two of you have become one. Sabibi erupt here, a cancer may develop. How do I make sure I cure this? That is what you must be thinking. That is what makes us listen, and we crash conflict because you have raised the bar. It is me. It is us in this. Whatever we do, we are not destroying. I'm not destroying you. I'm destroying us. Sa language no eni yemu bebre no ya ware mu. Nti e ma yente ye ho ase say ade ne eyeyen enyewo, because there is a complementary aspect and there's also that capacity building us together to become a whole. Until there will be that rough edges I bear we. Until you're listening, anytime there is a one person must drop it. Anything by anger and raise the bar. When you raise the bar, you see that now the third thing is the third principle that you need to apply is the language, a refined language. So then the refined language, refined language I'll be using there. I would laugh if. I would laugh if I would. That is a polite way. Now begin to use polite language to solicit oneness for hearing and compromises. So that now I would love it if you say it this way, or if you put it that way, or if you let us do it this way. Now it is suggestive. It is not impulsive. Until you say, "Ade na fi de mesre senka wo ye ni say ya. Wo ye ni say ya meni beje. Wo ka ni say ya meni beje." Na kire say enya ade a se fi de me ase me hyew. Na emuzisi ya no me ne wo eye den. Ye dwendwen ho. Mesre se obeboa ma ya ye na esipi. Eno ne nea e wo say ye hwe. 3 stages. Anything
but anger.
Anything but anger. To raise the bar. 3. And then 3. Refined language. All these things, conflict. The conflict will not come. But as soon as conflict comes because we have different perspectives.
That is it. Conflict in itself is not bad.
It's not bad. But the different perspective also is supposed to, in the marriage, one year say, yeah, 2 individuals that will just stay 2 individuals. Or you say we are 2 individuals, but with one soul. Because once intimate happens, sex is not body on body, soul on soul. That's why we become one flesh. And I said that, but the theological underlying, I always want to give the doctrine behind marriage. The doctrine behind marriage, they say, it is the two of us becoming one and married to Christ. So we are not married to ourselves, we are married to Christ. That's why I say, let no man, including the two of us. And the fundamental issue is that we are married to this God. And so whatever we are doing in submission to this God. Ye kasa amuni ye yiniano ese Kristo su ese nyame suban, because nyame character ne say dey dey nyame niano. If God, imagine God gets angry,
Zaki wo.
And very, very important to say at all times, we we'll look at it from these 3 principal areas so that we curve the conflict and be able to make sure say the aye can be ye edi ahye ye ho den se ne ebe ya ye kasa be yihwam se ne ebe ya ye nkomodi be ye fe se ne ebe ya ye betimi ama afoforo ehunu se aware ne mu onyam na kasa ho te no etimi eboa. Because look, every relationship, communication is the life gate to sustain it. Yes.
Even it applies to even organizations.
Yes. Until if that is the life of that relationship now, we cannot just handle it anyhow. We have to be intentional about it.
This is really, really deep. Osofo. This is really so. Nyoma mensa one, anything but anger. And you know, a quiet bit me a before the beba. Nemo eba your reaction in the asem. And I say, men can say, to entry conflict in the beba. But eba, am I ever before in Sia no coin? And you know, send Osofo Francis Ekano. Especially your partner nya asema oh ni pie fifi ene enye se munya ase no bedroom na unim se bia nsem na oka ne ebe irritate bu wo de free bedroom na betena hall at least ehuruhuru a ebe den ebejo ana ebie nso no emuanye a wode be ma no e was say you have to raise the bar dey na all patche you got to raise the bar men fa bufuo enche na mum manenti ase se bibi akofom no medofo mejitum say manye ne ye wo na oye be ma especially men man take the responsibility we dey put the blame on you obi eni obehu ne o partnership bijidi say before ne ba na mame kan sa ana say ni say afi third one anoka say refined language afi o fan share ne so o suggest say medofo akaye ne say ya bijidi say akayebeboa next time mesusu say yen ko ni say odo de se ne o sofo echeche no ana enye oka se bema ne oba nhie mudie no enye honam ne honam ye okra ne okra enti no menu ya betena no ya ye ba ko a ya ware Kristo so we are me and you are one married to Christ and the Kristo ne ye som no enye ye ho na de bia me ka se bema na oba odo Kristo no emrepa say obedo ne partner because if a man is fully in love really in love with Christ the love now when you are Christian that is the same love he shared towards the partner so a very suicidal when you have a partner proud to our realm especially any a man member show ye be say what say utimi say oda me don kun and as me partner o wan yankopon na Kristo no ale odo no wo forma ene na e pointed to be because so odo no wo forma ene odo de be ma me nso betime wo form because the love we have for Christ is a reflective on the love we have for each other. Yeah. You know, I think say also let us move to this one here from what he said no. Now, why do couples oftentimes feel unheard even when they talk frequently? We say to the bia me name dofu you didn't come up but me you to be got terms say you are not listening, you don't listen, you didn't come up but see, you don't listen, so how do couples sometimes feel unheard even when we talk frequently?
You see, yeah, talking can be sounds but not making meaning.
Okay, talking can be sounds not making meaning.
And they do a mini within komo ye kasa na asem no aye ka no untimi nsusudia oh mepewe onze bi wo hon ma obi wa ni din komo a oni ne dofu din komo a kasa kwankwa na nipa no onte kasa no ase obi hon ma oye the plain type no say oh me pese okoto kelewele ma me kan sa a kire me na nka me na nka me ko ado se nka minyaaya nka ebitimi akoto kelewele wo kan sa a kire me a bia ye di nkomo waka me ko ado minyanka me pese okoto minyanka me di kelewele but wo ka kire me say oh mira chale mpie nkoto kelewele enne de me fi se nkoto kelewele me wo eyiwu ha yenkoto mate ye betu sa na mo no but emprepi no aya na ye di nkomo a enkomo no ye di no e di enkomo it mami mi bobo so say sa o pese metene a wo kana so a sisudia ne kan plain na mi hunu say ade wei e na mepe we na me pese edi na say ye kasa ye ka ye di nkomo kasa bi na ye TV ho nkomo program bi ho nkomo na e bi na film bi ya hwe na ye di nkomo na numu abedane argument but adia aya emprempi no aya na nkofo bibriwe fi ni say even kura say film na ya hwe na ye di ho nkomo a film na ye discuss na edin na ye pese edin aba na ye pese ye nya wo sasa aba no anya ade ahia yen ne ye pese ye nya ye be kasa
you are making sounds
yes but we are just making sounds obi a hwe ne perspective but say ye nya collective goal say oh ade we a me hwe nsunsun so we na mpese mi enti no mahwe na me pese me yere ana me kunu hu say ade we ni sua ade ampese ye we no you point to that ye di nkomo ni ase but ohun say esua ade a wo mu ni say ye hwe ni si a now you are communicating, you are not telling the story. Inti bebreni enkomodie ni like storytelling.
They are not communicating.
But not communicating lessons. Until we have talked about the story, yaka adie no. Nenso esua de awum na nye no na ye che. Inti yaka say we say na za dia me asema kan na me hu ni ti me hu ne nan. Anti na je say me ka say gu from him. Eno ne anything but anger. Unya kase you have used anger to respond. The next respond in back but ye din komono a say ye intentional say ade we na mpese meka. Enti in as much as ye ka we nia no when it is important it's just like preaching and I say wako for workshop or yeah I'll say this is a take home. Just say we know in here so the beko. Enti our conversation must have take homes. At the end of the day, no. Sene be ya ye wie di nkomo no wi we ni dia. Ye nya wo. Enti ye nkomo die kura no. Ye won nkomo a ye body sere ye ho ye be ka bibi abrabo mu nsem a ye de be sere sere. Eno sa nkomo no. Most often no ye di a aya intentionality ni. But anything that has to do with your future, your body, a future, your body and color future, your person, and no sound common idea, the supi say we any outcomes, we any that is when we are hearing.
Me yiri say baby a wo bi a usua ade dwumedie dubra e be ma okwan na wonso wafre enditro number we to so ye bie tuma na wafre 0246239070 0246239070 ye be bia tum ama wonso wafre na wo contribution your suggestion se bibi mpo na opese woni ye cha wa o de aba ebi odwumedie so ne ai wafa ho ka oboa ye gbedema herbal product medicasi so ye gbedema garlic mixture eno no se onsa aye titiri nine aye titiri se moja ni ndi efusane wo onipedue ma de wo hia ye gbedema garlic mixture ye wo gbedema cocoa capsules so cocoa uyem na team constipation all that you need is gbedema cocoa capsules ebio ye wo gbedema ladies capsules ema ye fam hu bia oba say watenka anase ebia yawe bia ne wo idi esie wo oba asitinem ne abrabom no all that you need ye gbedema ladies capsules answer ye wo gbedema molecule malaria typhoid and the betinete and to predidio to number was offer 0248 288 788 so who pedro to number was offer 0248 288 788 Kumasi ubenyebi Accra ubenyebi Ghana ha atwa pesi bebia into go frɛ na wo pedido tia ye bete wo so enti no doc rev de be doc rev na ye ka bibi. So sometimes we make sounds in the talking, but we don't make meaning.
Yes.
And you know, in this instance, you know, let us look at this. How can you show your partner you are listening apart from say nodding? We say to the beer, or kasana meet me. We assume say me bo mitinko no, just meet you. Oh kasa, oh say meet you. No bo mitinko. So how can we show the partner that we are listening beyond nodding?
So the best a year I'll be nipanity is the response, the obedience, and the feedback. Because ye din komo no e will be a bit me about say a request, a bit me about say a insunsanso bi apeso enti bia o ka me character ho asem, o ka me kasa ho asem, o ka me duane ye ho asem. The only way I will know say wetie me na wote dia me kan no say me hu changes no a the fruits of your actions after the deliberation no ebema me hu say wotie me ana wontie me because obi betimi aboniti nko nanso na dia wo kania no
onte
or say that be enye say onte otie but the all can say ma kania mate ba me fanye ejuma obi on ma wa eti me ma wonka embetete me dia waka niamate ba me nya dia mdi
me se me twa so ntine mebo mti
yes se na be ya kasa no be kasa no me fio but opese ohu a is a simple principle which is that ubehu in the fruits after the conversation, the changes that comes in the life of the person, whatever discussions net no uhu so sign no abin say nipa no tie me into the ye juma what you say and emprempi no ebehia say utie a udi we ni etie nipa no me de ama me hu kane aye we ni say sayeni ni yeni hia a ema me hu say de America no utie me enti me kasa me hwe we ni kosua onu obi kasa na bia ni tisisi form say a so ofere enye ferry sometimes it's a sign of the person trying to let you know say I'm not in favor.
Okay.
But some me tie wo a me hwe we ni because I want to have the vibe. This is a ye di nkomo no ye kasa no me hwe we ni kosua wo hwe me ni kosua ye honhom engage. I can even descend. So really enti na kasa okopo obi chewa na so obi biebe na even me pachowa de kire se nipa no waje ne mfum so atum eye the remorsefulness of the body language and approach enti ne sara na kasa so we tie wo asa na tie.
Thank you. Send me kind number obetimi afre ti so tro number we tu the drew I be atom 0246239070 0246239070 ye twa ye ho smaka kre bi aba ye ba ye beto aso.
Are you still driving fuel cars in this modern era? The future of driving is here. KFM Limited, lead distributors of electronic vehicles, have made transportation easy and efficient. Behind me are 3 of their beautiful new brands: Leap Moto, Giomi, and Nami. Come with me. Let's explore the fine details. Leap Moto, let me tell you a bit about its interior. Like you can see, the interior is heavenly, right? There's whole wheel and everything in here is in shades of gray. So we have light and dark gray, very classic. We have 2 screens to your display. This very screen gives you everything about the infotainment. We have its mileage, how far it can take you. On your journey with this electric car, you can switch it into just 3 comfortable modes. It's either the standard for a regular drive, the sports mode for a fast mode, or the economy to manage your battery strength. If you charge it in about 6 hours, it should take you 310 kilometers. Yes, you can go to Kumasi and back. I get that. Leap Moto, your option, your choice if you're a new driver like myself. Let's try the other. Now to my favorite. It's called Geely Giomi. Come with me, let's toy in it. All you need is this keyless key. You just make sure it's handy and around. And as the moment you open the car, it starts on its own. Like the interior speaks for itself. Glorious black and white. In its all glory, beautiful wheel, and you have a very lengthy screen. gives you same 3 modes: standard, economy, and sports for a high or fast rider like myself. Now to my very final brand I'd like to introduce you to. It's called Nami, Sky Blue Nami. Come with me, let me tell you a bit more about it. Nami, like all the other electronic cars, is beautiful. Its interior is a glamorous 2 shades of grey, light grey and darker grey. With 2 beautiful screens, this one gives you information and entertainment. Thus, gives you the battery strength. Nami can travel 330 kilometers. It can go to Kumasi and back. If you charge it for 6 hours, you're good to go. You can also fast charge it for 3 hours. Beautiful wheel and everything you need. Nami, my preference everywhere. Do you desire an electronic vehicle in Ghana? We have various payment options, including hire purchase. Contact KFM Limited with the numbers below the screen. We have you sorted.
Welcome back to the Love Garden Show. There are a few comments I want to read from our Facebook. Vivian Baxton is watching, and Vivian Baxton said, I'm guilty, pa, mercy Lord. I Miss Baxton, I mercy Lord. Now remember, let me ye. Osofo Stephen Colley, honestly say blessings, Pastor Francis Kofi Mensah, blessings. Sansona Harrison Jan Asamoah. Harrison Jana Samuel said this is very important topic. God bless you, Osofo Kofi and Reverend McCarthy. Righty, Rita Benson also said, there are a lot of people, Lisbon, Edu Jemfi, Hega Santua, Pastor Clement Mensah. These are all people who are watching feed, Sabi Koda. A lot of people are watching the feed, and we are really grateful. Say you are enjoying the moment. It is about nurturing love, shaping the family, bringing to bear the things are AC or you're sitting in. Nyoma ye can wa high, yes, ya na ebeboy, to be honest, because amwao and na ebia and the unkwana wote. And the need is say, infaso ben was no. But that shouldn't be say if you really want to settle, so and ya worry mpa. Edwumem aye onkofa woni amanfo. Or your bar, or be madam for, or your bema or badam for. So these things shape our relationship with others. And my person says relationship well nurtured. It's a gold mine. If you really nurture a relationship, because the certain relationship or so just a phone call can take you from prison. Yes. There are certain relationship, just a text message can take you to the Jubilee House. And the relationship well nurtured, Sansuna, if you really man those relationships well, in fact, they be I remember this reminds me of a story. 4 years ago, I think, let me crochet Champions League. Oh baby, now there was this guy. Now I'm planning the straight champion Tuesday and Wednesday. And the actual born we no obi a coffee, but was na wasa order another drink. So one day me imagine say mebusa no na be say ya pon wi aye ko no na wasa order more drink. Na I say na me na build he opened up or say Charlie oba no me coffee won say gidi enti mo ko na metina kakra ba 11 12 me ko no ada. By 4:35, me feel mako. Hey, sir. I said, Charlie. I said, oh, mama, sumo njimi on. And it's such a person, ofre jumema, who ni fear say you home, who is a house. But we don't want to call where we live as a house. We want to call it at home. And you know, me show TV, nefa about bra. So the number now obey me is 0246 239 070. 0246 239 070. This is a number obey me afre esiso. And the mutual call Stephen Coley, Vivian Baxon, Asamoah, Mr. Samoa Koda, what were you as a Wofra? You better do them free a Hagar. More saying now we want to hear your contribution. And to call this number 0246 239 070. Now, Yabema Wakunya no contribute. As of Yentuaso. So, what are the biggest barriers to truly hearing your partner's feelings? What are the biggest barriers to truly hearing your partner's feelings?
The biggest, you say the biggest barriers.
What are some of the
barriers?
Barriers.
So okay, some because the biggest barrier. The biggest barrier.
The biggest barrier.
Barrier. A war hold more. Emma yintimi enter ye be blockade listening. One, being negative in your
good evening. We didn't even be okay free. What's your team in car? Hello. Okay. So, but your offer na wa minimize or set no the uti e free no minimize no na kasa number ni bio 0246239070 0246239070 free na unso che wadwene also for yen to aso.
Yes, and having a negative posture, be resentful, or you be a dear back could be see and commodine say. Obi a debiano o de susunie boni eti asem I say debiano you read meanings into conversation rather than listening to the import of a, let me put it that way, reading meaning into conversations or statements in here a saying language. If you are somebody who is interested in wordings, not complete sentences, and no, the BI becomes a barrier because abribiano, oh shit, the man can ye into skepticism. You are skeptical about. Adiana American no cry me yeah, that be that's how they meet. Adiana papa na beka. Always brushing this thing. It becomes a barrier until immediately you start talking. I will not even listen because they are all back. They are make cooking. Beka chems and yanse be any mitri. Until no main kasa. Until ama enkofo be bree. Woman din komo. Our fo be bree din komo. Yebe din komo a. Na chese bibi na aba. And na ye ka ho asem but see a better as ye din komo is a barrier. Number two, one of the greatest barriers too that we have is this gadgets. Phones. Our phones have become a barrier to meaningful conversation. Enti BBS will feel am pesa me no kana man ka me twen ko fie no ma send long WhatsApp message or text message. And I'm actually in here. Into who could do office now be ye jumano now be a phone now who say it destruct your day. And instead of that, we think that it is opening up, it rather becomes a barrier. And to see a message be a who cramming kind. And I'm a befia or the heat na medeba. Why did you send me this message? And also akwensidie ebe ya akwensidie metwe ya anti ye phones no kura be ya ebe yes abare ebe ya akwensidie man because eniema ye chiro fa phones so anka ebitimi aka then etoso miensa se untimi ne menkasa na be fa afoforo so me akasa bringing other third parties into our conversation without giving me the prior notice emaminti a big barrier me ne wo nya asem yen ka asem ni yen kan wie yen ye woni me nka ye eso wakofre o maame ana wakofre me wofa abona mane na wofa afre me. Until next time I didn't say I was o maame wo ko ka kire o maame you have curtailed that relationship, that conversation, that communication channel. Into BBS kobo mama dey so one more ani omokasa. I'm not even going to listen to you, no matter how hurting it is. And you know, these are the things, because sometimes, and then we also have the interference of friends. Interference of friends. Because we have common friends and we can talk. Until you know that there are people whose friends know more
than their partners.
They are their partners. When you down for din komo, when down for ni awoye same me.
Answer na ni kunu kra
beti and I say free. And you kunu pe answer na ni kunu beti na yere beti, because me down for na scenario ma say abranti ya on Kofi. Because the question is a one-sided story. No, I can't say. Then also, yeah, Emma, we. And you realize that when we don't paint four pictures, when there are no disclosures, it becomes barrier, a barrier to bigger the communication. Because disclosures, open disclosures. If you are not disclosing certain things, yes, I mean, I'm not interested in say obe ka kire me say say na me ende anase say, but say me hu say na be ya o minim say me kunu gi say minim say me yiri gi say nti ya ho ndin ye say even cry yin sie sika mbo mu kra no a ye minim dia me yiri gi nti minim dia me kunu gi nti no minim how far I can push, what we can get and what we cannot get.
You continue, let me chip in this question, but number no bet me a friend is 0246239070. I think say people are calling, but the line of Michelle, you can still call 0246239070. Let me digress a bit and come to the barriers about say aketia aweje. And you know, madam for being a bit some question say, and there was say ye to aketium and as a bonus be aba oma oyere etiana.
No, the interesting aspect of it is say when the concept of marriage has not properly been taught in churches, and we have not really laid the theological foundation for marriage and the doctrine behind it. Until naman kofu bibri adwin yom say me warrior me I have something to hide. But yet as I said, the oneness of the marriage in here are their openness. Adena ya ware na mintimi fa misika nto ana me wallet nto mami kunu hu ana me yiri hu. You know, sometimes your guest chese na ye ni bi ma ye kire say it's two things. It is all talking about trust. Because I don't trust you, where we are me. And so I always come back and ask the question, say foundation must start in net saying now the seeker to offer. Now obiso ade man ana o mano enti no finding means of extorting from you. Inti yedi ye ho tra na yedi ebedi sa high. Inti ye ngie hu ye hu ndi. Because I'm a Judi not trust. Because the marriage, like I told you, trust is what brings us together. It is love that sustains us. And if the trust is broken, no, sanima we need see. Bank kasa trust on my and then my bonus will. But plan we na me wo. A ye wo sika. Wo so na wo ye head. Into where you are leading with the openness, that's where the woman will go. You see, remember, men, we are the head. Whatever you give the woman, she will multiply it.
Sure.
And if truth is what you build your home with, the woman will help you build onto. Remember, she is a helper. She is a helper. Help her to do what? To help you meet God's purpose. That's why she's there. And to know so one build the foundation here, and no, and on also best started so destructive. You see, often when we read the Bible, we make it look as if the devil spoke to Eve when Adam was not around, but they were together. They were together.
Hold on. Often we read the Bible. It is assumed say, na Adam uniwo, ana bonsam beka satre no. But you are telling us they were together.
I can Bible no. They were together. Omo wo ho. Na bonsam bae. Bonsam bae no. No ne if kasa no. Adam enyia no. Otie. Enti oba no ye convince no. No di apple no. Hemfa no do command. Ho ano no so chese ade because it's the love for the woman. But Adam was given the authority to instruct the woman. Nti so kan say dabi nyame anka say yenye ne say nyesa na nyame kan nti ni. Maza jadi awoka no. Oba no biti. Oba no.
Enye say obonsam na kasa no na be mani ni wo.
Nti na the Bible no because is the woman who was deceived.
Not the man.
Not the man. But the man had a responsibility. That's why God did not curse the man, but he cursed the land. That you will suffer in sweat to get. Because your punishment is that you should have instructed her. Because whatever Adam named, it was so.
Of course.
And you know, Adam was the one to bring instruction. So why instruct her Obano? Why more Bani who no cray woman? She will ask. Women are curious by nature. They always want to know. Until who refuses to only be engaged here, Oba could be sitting down for the very answers. And when she get the answers from the down before now, you won't do baby experiment.
Especially December bonuses in allowance in 13th month in if transparency is the foundation of the marriage, Mr. Wow, sika also for now.
I think ontimi enje but oka emani hu extra winya na o manite ase se o but me wo plans for me de koye we na me de kwa akokoye de na wo de koye no it's the benefit of all of us. Often no ani esuru see ebeka because maybe the person this is kind of koye no it's not for the collective good. But if for a collective good, once I watch this can be a car, you used to know I say this spree. It's for the collective good. And you know, saying it, you know, won't say anything. And I'm in Kolani school fees and I'm percent me the top up, percent the 2 of my classes, percent the say. You see, it's for the collective good. Until on to people make it demand on it because we have shown the purpose, which on one who say for the collective good.
So it is great to be transparent.
Yes, and it
enhances our trust
every day.
Evident, our reign. Because there's this lady friend who shared with me. I said, Francis, we are 7 years. On who da ni kunu jumano. I think say on mani who the conditions of service be trained. But after 5 years, near on who da ni kunu ba catch and say, ya manu bonus. Yes, and I had the obusa to a ketchiano from year 1, the same Netiana as a bear advance and found me.
Oh, and no sano, nature say already no, acquire say there's something that is missing in their communication, and Abia at a point in time, BBC. And a breaking that you know because the woman also cannot say with all the 5 years 7 years 5 years gaps you know until na omundi nkomo bia na be ma ne mfa ne complaints bia amba no mo nka ejuma ho o say communication no enkomodie ni we no enema bebre na de barriers ba bi on ma ebia na okoka bibi na be ma ne take you sir e ma fa me ho adwe sometimes we have what we call some silent withdrawal can become a barrier in communication. I have silently withdrawn because of some comments be a make here. Inti adiana me no menda nye bi.
Then we should be watchful.
Enti no hu say obi asesa o partner na asesa bisa ho first. Ediana me here. Inti how do I go in? So oba back now say me patrol maka bibi. My baby. And sometimes you see, some people play the blind game. Say, or should I yin to say the away and unim. But unim say, my idea we mean pan which and I mean can't my 10-year blind eye to it. And then we are expecting say nipano ebe fan say oh enye hwe dabi say ye hyeda ka ho asem say oh ade na meka en me aminim say asem na meka man ka ne you are not happy we ni anje ho enti no mesrew feche me hu say wasesa menim say ye de ameka en enti ampacho na yen kwa ye dadem because eno no eboa me eno no boa yen eno no ma ya ware ni dim. It is very, very important so that those barriers will be removed.
All too soon. Yeah, the Nina Airberry. You know, as of a lot has been said. The art of hearing, in fact, I mean, just say, Obi if he, and then I'm just not lying now. And then when they call it drops, so, but Obi Biara Wofi Bia, we see a baby. And then a crack no then I would chat to na yen fancy
them di e be chat to the say yenti ase say kasa ye honhom na sa honhom no aso ne siesie yen enti ansa na obibie wa no abekasa no eni se efi wa no keke ba dwene ho ne bisa ho se kasa na America no edi mpagya edi ahotoso edi enije ene beba na woso a wutie no anytime bia obetie bia no kan hu se ne amitie ne se ye do se nye de wo ene ma miensa na ese we emfe bufu onyi asemo ano de ani de nyina make sure say ube rezi ba no ka kire ho se mema ne sisusu mesisu dua ama na yefe ne toso miensa me de kasapa kasahwam ene be ebeyi me wonderful ano.
That's wonderful. Also for Nyamin Shroud, anything but anger, raise the bar. Anna, you cast a refined language. And your mommy and son, you bet him they are quasi and to qua. If you also know, dear, if you see certain barriers, a quine, the barriers, eba, see, if see a partner, reading meanings into. In some all kind of avenue, some na wuti, but everywhere to be and I be gadgets and so hard journey. So a lot has been said, has been said tonight. But you say why you insure? What's it in fact, Reverend Francis McCarthy now in Kano or some of Flames International Worship Center, Malab. He's been a blessing. He's been a blessing in some okane emudo. In some can and you know if you want to patronize nim dia no on the say you can reach out number 92 you just reach out. We are always there to help. If you need say maybe a show but you would want us to be there. We are always there to contribute what we know. In fact Jumedie omo my production team no director Abigail Nyamenkwa Abigail Boami in directing. Cristiano Boame with sound. Elizabeth and Richard and so Boame with camera. Have a MCR set. And now your producer King George. Bedin the Sofo Francisco Kofi Mensah with me after me unto the Lord. Makramo. Nyamiya Duma. Ibesha na watch SNA. Jesus saves, heals, and satisfies. Bye bye.